know what? Let's just wait for, I've got one leader that's going to be sharing.
Stop eating the iPad. Stop it.
You are unmuted.
Oh, sorry.
It's
My
okay.
Mango eats everything.
There's Ren. Oh, there's Star. I texted her. You're late.
Hey, Star.
I'm laughing.
I know. Like, where are you? Awesome.
Here.
My dog is literally laying under my feet, you guys, because it's really cold here, and I've had my heater blasting in my office. Trisha, can you turn over? Oh, she's already recording. Awesome. And do I have host controls as well, Trisha? Because I do have some other people speaking that will be sharing their screens and stuff as well. So if you could do that, that'd be great. Okay, I am now the host. So she already muted everybody. Awesome. Well, welcome. Happy December 16th, everybody. Welcome to our One Team Leadership Call. Super excited that you are all here, and thank you for taking time out of your Monday evening to be here. Very passionate about the subject that we're going to be talking about tonight, which is events and all of the goodness that goes with our fabulous Isagenix events. I've got a few different leaders that are going to share on here tonight their experience, their tips, maybe a testimonial or an inspirational story with you about events and what they have done to help their business. So I see that we've got some other people joining, so I'm just going to go ahead and mute everybody. Thank you, Trisha, for doing that, if you did that. It says on the post, but it doesn't look like I've got abilities to mute everybody. So Tanya Marshall, thank you for joining us. Just to let you know, you are not muted if you would like to mute yourself. So Robert, actually, one moment before we get into that. First of all, I just want to start the call off by asking all of you who's here, if you have had a chance to look at our new ordering system, just by a show of hands or say yes in the chat. It is phenomenal. It is so easy to use. I feel as if Isagenix is constantly bettering things for us and making it easier for us as associates. And man, they knocked it out of the park with this. I don't know who they hired that took over our IT department, but it is like something I have been requesting for years. It is so user-friendly, so easy. So for example, if you choose a 30-day pack, you just go click, 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 and choose all of your things. It's so much easier. There's no drop down anymore. It just gives you everything and it shows you exactly what to choose. It is awesome. They also have a, yes, it is in place now, Robert. It is ready to go. It's working. I did an enrollment today and it worked just great. Also, they have a new enrollment via isagenix.com. Not sure if you guys know about that. Carissa, you are unmuted. Trisha, is there a way that we can mute all as they join us? I don't seem to have the host. I don't know why, but as people join, that would be awesome. The new enrollment via isagenix.com, you guys, if you go there, let's just say that I'm somebody and I hear how great Isagenix is and I go to isagenix.com and maybe Pam had told me about Isagenix. It will then ask you who referred you to Isagenix. And people can search your name, they can search your ID number, they can search your phone number, they can search all different ways, and they will become your personally enrolled. I think that that is so amazing and so awesome, because a lot of times, how many people have you heard of that, you know, you shared Isagenix and they're like, oh, I placed my order a month ago and I did it on isagenix.com. So I'm really excited about that. Another new thing that I want to just share with all of you, if you haven't heard, is the new My Pack. If you remember My Pack back in the day, you had to start with a box of complete essentials. And then you could build your pack. And once it got up to 200 BB, you would receive a 10% discount. So that has gone away. And the My Pack is now anything at all, anything that you want to put into the pack, which I love because not everybody might want to start with our vitamins. Anything at all, any configuration that you want, 167 BV, which is usually what a 30-day system is, will get you a 10% discount. So just keep that in mind. I love how Isogenics is really recognizing the meet the need of the consumer, and they are doing like little switches like this. The other kind of switches they're doing is when it's a free enrollment. For example, when somebody gets the $29 coupon code, you know, we do that a lot of at events and stuff. It used to always be 150 BV or more. Now it's $150 or more. And what's so great about that is that's 100 BV. So it's 100 BV. So they lowered the BV down 50, and your free enrollment codes are good for any orders 100 BV or more. And this goes too for people when they upgrade their account to associate, they receive an email with 2 free enrollment codes, which basically then helps their friends and family save $29 right off the bat and get their free wholesale membership for the year. So just keep that in mind. It's 100 BV or more to get the free enrollment. So those were just a couple of things that I made notes about that I wanted to share with you guys. I also wanted to share a special little email that just came out, a special photo, I should say. And you may or may not have gotten this in your email, but right now you can get 2 tickets for only $199. So it's one price for 2 events. You get your New Year kickoff ticket along with your celebration ticket. So it's a huge savings of $169. So keep that in mind. Normally New Year kickoff on its own is $199, and celebration they usually go about for $149 or $159, $169, somewhere in that range. So this is something just to keep in mind. This offer is only valid through January 19th or until it sells out. And what that means is they've only allotted a certain number of these bundles. So you never know when it's going to sell out. So if it sells out, you might be out of luck. So Robert, I'm going to have you, if you wouldn't mind, just kick us off with our events video. If you could share your screen. I want to share just a quick 1-minute video with you all, and then we'll go into our next piece.
All right. I was talking away and you guys couldn't hear me. Thumbs up if you can hear my voice. Okay. Very good.
If time were no object and you had the opportunity to grow yourself in one weekend, if you want to take this on your body to another level, you cannot do it without attending events.
I really,
When you come to the
For that video for us, I think it just paints the bit of, you know, what our expenses are that they do, and the topic is. Keep in mind that if you started with a premium pack, you have a $25 event coupon. If you started with a value pack, you have a $75 event coupon. Here's the other like little tip that I have for you guys is I have lots of clients that have started with value packs. However, they have no interest in going to an Isogenics event. So I've asked them, hey, so-and-so, would you mind if I used your $75 coupon for this event? And, you know, they might say, oh, what's the event? And I explain to them, I say, oh, no, I have no interest in ever going to, you know, just a product user. That's it. So I have gone into their back office, purchased event tickets using their coupon, then transferred the event tickets to myself. And then I can move forward and transfer those tickets to other team members as well. So it's a great way to save yourself some money, not only on your own event ticket, but to be able to invite other teammates to events without breaking your bank. Now, I'm going to share with you my story about how I got to my first event. And if you all look at the screen and you see the beautiful lady by the name of Mary Pike, Mary Pike had seen that I had enrolled 8 people one week. And she kind of contacted Star, and who was my enrolling sponsor, Morningstar, and was like, what's she doing? And Mary reached out and said, you have to get to this event. And Mary gifted me my very first event. And that event changed my life, you guys, because I was a business owner. I had 3 businesses. It was the downturn of the economy in like 2009 to 2011, and my businesses weren't doing as well as they had in the past. I loved Isogenics products. I'd already been sharing it just because I loved it, and to be honest, I needed a little bit of extra money, so I was using that extra money. At the time, we had the daily PIBs that I would use that little ISO wallet card, and I'd go to the grocery store and buy groceries that night. So it was such a saving grace for my family that, I saw the vision. I was able to see the vision when I went to my first event. So I went to my first event with Morningstar, and she'll kind of share a little bit about that. But I saw people up on stage, like I always think of Pam Fahey. I know a lot of you know and love her. She's amazing. And Pam's family was in the construction business, which I was in. And she talked about how her family had gone bankrupt and Isogenics had gotten them back to where they needed to be. And so I just saw her. I saw her share her story, and I came home from that event and I said to my husband, I'm going to sell our businesses and I'm going to do this full time. So it was life-changing for me. I'm forever grateful that Mary got me to that event. So whether you're part-time, whether you're full-time, whether you're just brand new in the business, events build belief. Events not only build belief, but they really truly paint the big vision of what's possible. And we have 4 core events throughout the year. And right now they're kind of reworking 2 of them, but I'm going to share with you isogenicsevent.com, which is our website. Oh, that's not it. Here it is. Isogenicsevents.com. If you have not been there, it will show you all of our upcoming events. I was looking at this earlier today, and right now they're featuring Celebration. But we also have New Year Kickoff. New Year Kickoff is our second biggest event. Celebration is the biggest one. We usually have 15 to 16,000 people. New Year Kickoff, we have about 5,000 to 10,000 people. And this year it happens to be in Phoenix, Arizona. Phoenix is very inexpensive to fly in and out of for a lot of airlines and a lot of people all around the country. So it's a great hub for all of us. If you are local to the Arizona area, there's absolutely no reason why you should not be at this event, because you don't even have to buy airfare and you don't have to pay for lodging. I am super blessed that I don't have to. It's just pretty awesome. And then you'll see that there's also the retreats. And that's just say you right now are trying to strive to hit executive. You can click on that. There's a flyer there. You can see all of the steps that you need to achieve, and you can win your trip to the retreats. There's also a 1 to 2-star retreat. There's a 3 to 7-star retreat. And then there's also our Global Top Achievers, which this year happens to be in British Columbia. Super excited about that. I want to just show you, when you click on the actual event, a lot of people see the dates and they say, oh, January 22nd through the 25th, oh, I can't make it that whole time. But when you click on the event, there's always the agenda tab. Put on silent. Click on the agenda. And once you do, I want to show you kind of what's important when you're looking at the agenda at a glance, okay? So registration starts on Wednesday the 22nd. So as I mentioned on the front page, it says New Year Kickoff starts on the 22nd, where in reality, it doesn't really start until the 24th, kind of. So let's kind of go through it. So you can register, meaning you buy your ticket's in your back office, and when you get to the event, you go up to the registration desk, you enter in your username and your password on a computer, just like you do if you're buying your products from home. And when you enter that information, it pops up and it gives the registration people your information, and they'll give you a lanyard with your name and everything on it. And if you have any special accolades or anything like that, it will give you that as well. So that's registration. But you'll see they have registration every day. They also have registration on Thursday and on Friday, and maybe even somebody can only come on Saturday. They even have the registration booth open on Saturday. On Thursday, they have corporate headquarter tours since it is located here in Arizona. Now, I am sad to say they are already sold out. It was a free tour, but it's sold out. If you don't have your ticket already for that, it's not happening this time around, unfortunately. You could go to registration and see if there's any cancellation, see if you can get in, but that's just kind of the way it is. And then there's the World of Isogenics. The World of Isogenics is the Isogenics store where you can go, you can buy product, you can buy gear, you can buy tools. That's the World of Isogenics store, which is open 8 to 6 on Thursday, open 8 to 7 on Friday, and then on Saturday, it's open 8:30 to 5:30. Then the isotalks. The isotalks are broken down into 2 sections. They have isotalks from 9 to 11 a.m., which is the science talks. That's, you'll learn from Dr. Plant and some other people within our, probably Sarah Richter, in our product and education and research and development team. You'll hear from them about the science behind the products and how they work and why they work and all of that. And then from 1 to 4 p.m., they're going to have different leaders sharing business building tips and things like that. Then that evening, the top 50 income earners in Isogenics have a reception. So I'm planning on starting my New Year kickoff agenda on Thursday, the 23rd at 1 p.m. We're going to go on a team hike that morning. For those of you that are going to be in town, we're going to hike on Thursday morning, and we're going to be at the isotalks in the afternoon at 1 p.m. Then Friday, general session. General session is the actual event, so it really starts on Friday. So if you can't make it Wednesday or Thursday, that's fine. Friday works out. Okay? And Marie, you are on. There we go. I muted you. Okay. Now it's letting me mute people now. So yay. So Friday's general session, and then Saturday you see is general session as well, 8 to 5. So does that make sense to everybody? Just share in the chat with me if all of that makes sense, because when people look at the agendas, sometimes it's confusing to them, and I just want to make it as simple as possible because it really is a simple agenda. It's just some of the verbiage confuses people. So, oh, Pam, my very first event that I went to was January 2010. It was called Top Achievers. And so, yeah, it's New Year kickoff now. Yes, that's what it was. Okay, good. Thank you, Robert. Thank you for that. Let me just see. Okay, to buy tickets to the event, you simply could click on that particular event that you want to buy the ticket to, and then choose buy ticket, and it will take you right to your back office. So take you to your back office, that's how you can buy tickets. Like I mentioned, if you have a coupon code, you could use that as well. $25 for premium packs, $75 for value packs, which is pretty awesome. So keep that in mind. So I am going to bring on Mary Pike first, since Mary was the one who got me to my very first event. And Mary, anything that you want to share at all about events, I would love to hear from you.
Okay.
Mary,
Okay.
you guys know Mary is millionaire number
197.
197. And she's been with the company almost since the beginning, like 13 years.
2005, a little over 14 years.
A little over 14 years. And Mary is just an awesome, amazing rock star on our team. So happy to have her as part of it. So go ahead, Mary.
Thank you. Okay, so I was, most people know I was completely skeptical and not nice to Robert. Wasn't interested at all. I only tried the product. I had to go back and apologize, and tried it only because I wanted to keep him working. He's a great massage therapist, and I wanted to keep him working there at Blushes. So had no intention of having it work. I don't even think I did it right, but lost 6 inches in my waist in a month. And everybody asked me, what are you doing? I said, I don't know. It's this nutrition stuff, call Robert. So I was very skeptical. I was even more skeptical about the business because when I got this credit card in the mail, I thought I owed him money. So I caught him after he finished and wasn't nice about that either. He said, no, it's referral fees. So then I realized I started my nail business as a one-woman nail salon, and I gave out my cards. They tell me that the lady said, I love my nails. They don't look fake. So I said, they're not, they're enhanced. So I did them so well you couldn't tell. So I'd say, hey, bring these cards. When these cards come back in, I will actually, take $5 off your nail service. And some of my ladies got their fills free. It took a long time before I had to remember that. In the meantime, Robert and Ellen invited me to what was called Top Achievers at the time. At that point, if you were an executive, you could invite somebody that you thought would be, a top achiever. I didn't even know what I was doing or why I was going. Had no idea. They must have bought the tickets because it was just such a, like I said, I didn't know I was going. When I got there, I was arms crossed, totally skeptical, but I heard Kathy Coover say from the stage she'd been in 3 companies and had been let down in 3 companies, and she was going to create more 6- and 7-figure earners. And that's when I just sat up and started listening, because I've started and sold. Now, I've sold 5 businesses, but every business I had was because they were being done so poorly in town. Locksmith, car wash, laundromat, pet shop, horse tack place. They were being done poorly. I never said to myself, oh my gosh, I'll do this to make so much money. That thought never even crossed my mind. It was, people are being treated poorly. The services are not what we need. I started them to help others. And when I heard Kathy Coover say that, my heart went out. And had I not gone to that event, I don't know that I would even be in Isogenics at this time. And I didn't even know what I was getting into. There were 500 people there. It was 2005. And from stage, somebody said, well, you have to enter the Isobody contest. And I did that. And in 2008, I was one of the finalists. I was one of the top finalists. So to this day, I don't know if any of you know this, I get a free ticket to every event every year. Still, doesn't that blow your mind? Yes. So anyway, the events are so crucial. I take everybody to events that can go. It's just that important. It can change your business.
Thank you, Mary. And it has mine, obviously, because I wasn't even quite sure. I was like you. I didn't know why I was there. I remember even saying to Morningstar, like, this thing's called Top Achievers. I'm not a top achiever. I don't know if you remember that, Sarah, but I remember like even thinking that and saying that, and I was just so excited to be there and so happy to be there.
Yeah, once I got there, after listening to Kathy, I was in for life.
The moral of the story: Ellen and Robert got married to an event. Mary got me to an event. So, Morningstar, please share with us just about your experience with events and why you think they're so valuable, and any tips or pointers or anything.
Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all. Yeah, the Isogenics events are incredible. The few that I've been to have always been so amazing and so inspiring. And there's just so much to glean from them, just for your personal life and personal growth and development, and for your business. And I just love all of the leaders that present at the events, because again, they're just incredibly inspiring, and I always learn so much. I know that when I go to the events, it really helps me get clear on what it is that I want for myself. And I get really clear and honest about where I am, and, really looking at the gaps that I want to close for myself in my life, and then learning the tools to be able to do that as well. So that's one of the many things that, I've always taken away from the events, is the coaching, the training, the leadership. It's top notch, world class. And there's these people up there that just have story after story, about where they started and how far they've come and what they've accomplished. And you get to see, well, I know at the national conference, we get to see the ISOBody winners. I think is that just at Nationals, Bethanny? Or do they do that at the New
So
Year?
at Celebration, they do the grand prize winner, but they
Yeah.
do ISOBody still at New Year kickoff as well.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though I still am like part-time in Isogenics, I have a coaching business that I run and operate online as well. I love going to the events. I'm really excited about this event this year, particularly because it is my, my goal to build Isogenics bigger than I ever have before. So I'm just so excited for the New Year kickoff and what I know it's going to do for me in terms of, again, giving me the training and just the encouragement and the inspiration, everything to just really plug in and get fired up for kicking off the new decade. I'm so excited. It's not even just a new year. We're kicking off a new decade. I'm just so excited. So this is going to be great timing this year.
It really is. And I am so excited for you to come. And I want to just point out a little key bit that she shared there, which was, part-time. I mean, even if you're part-time, if you're looking to build an Isogenics business, the events are crucial. And as I mentioned, we have 4 core events. In my mind, Celebration and New Year kickoff. Celebration happens every summer. This year it's in July in Salt Lake City. And New Year kickoff happens every January, which happens to be in Phoenix this year. And those 2 events are crucial if you want to build an Isogenics business. Think of it as, college for a couple of days, or, just learning the skills, building the belief. It's not just a big rah-rah thing. It really is there to teach you, to educate you, to inspire you, for you to learn. And you'll take away so much personal development from it as well. Not only that, our events, we always have like really cool things like Vanilla Ice and I don't know, who are some of the
We had Flow Rider at the last celebration I was at. That was a couple of years ago, a few years ago. That was a while ago now.
Flow Rider,
We had
Salento.
Maroon 5, yeah.
Yeah, Maroon 5.
Yeah.
That was awesome. I had front row seats for Maroon 5, and there were only like 1,000 of us in the room. It was incredible. Yeah.
And Tony Robbins was our keynote.
Tony Robbins was one of our keynote speakers. We've had some incredible keynote speakers: Les Brown, John Gray, Jack Canfield, Tony. Like Isogenics does it right. It's not like just go and rah-rah and try to get you all excited. It really is so much more than that. And at one of my first events, and I think every single event since then, I have seen this other redhead, Pam Ashburn, who is here with us tonight. And Pam has kind of gone through phases with her business, very part-time to more part-time to full-time. But the thing is, she has stayed consistent going to events. So Pam, will you please share with us just your experience?
Yeah, well, my first event was in 2009. And again, Mary was responsible for this. I was introduced to Mary by the owner of a dance studio that I was going to be teaching at. I was new to Texas, and that was in May. And I think it was Celebration in San Diego. Was that Celebration that year? I'm not sure. But anyhow, I roomed with Mary and Mandy, and Mary gave me a ticket, and it was amazing, and I was hooked after that. Now, over the years, that was my ex-husband and I that enrolled together to begin with. Then over the years, I'd played with the business here and there, and sometimes I would say I was going to take it serious, but then life would happen, and I didn't fully commit, but I kept going to events whenever I could financially go to. So I've been to several ICUs, celebrations, New Year kickoffs in the last 10 years. And in 2014, I enrolled on my own. And again, I just played with it and just kept going to events. My favorite, I was thinking about this earlier when Bethanny asked me to say a few words tonight. I think ICU is my favorite event because I love education. And even though we get training and education and all of that at all of the events, ICU, I think, is more focused on training than anything else. It's university. So that is really my favorite event. Inspiring, the training. I mean, when you get people up there like Emily Valra in her armor, that was the most powerful speaker I have ever heard, and it was just amazing. The other thing I really liked about the events is you realize how small the world is. I knew in prior life, one time I was at an event and I met a girl that works for somebody I went to high school with a lot of decades ago, and I hadn't talked to that woman since high school, and found out we had a connection. And these connections are all, I mean, none of us are financially linked, and we're just there to help and support each other, and we get all of that at the event as well. I made a couple of notes here. I think that was it. Yeah, but it's thanks to Mary, she got me to that first event. And now this year, when Bob and I got married, I retired as an active real estate agent, and with all of those tools in place from those 10 years of attending events, I feel like I'm more capable of, as our vision is, taking our business to another level, because I never gave up on those events and my leaders never gave up on me. So that was really important to me.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing, Pam. I appreciate it. And I just, over the years, I would only see Pam ever at the events, and it was just so great to see that familiar face. And as I mentioned in the comments, I have met some of my best friends in Isogenics at events that I never would have met otherwise. Never, we're not financially linked, and it's just been, it's been really just amazing. So Mary, thank you for bringing Pam into my life as well. And one of my top leaders, Robert Arthur. Robert is he and his wife Joy are 65th millionaires in Isogenics. They've been in just a little bit longer than Mary, and they are responsible for me being here because Robert brought in Mary, as you heard, and then Mary brought in her daughter Jeannie, who brought in her husband Godwin, who brought in Morningstar, who brought in me. So we're all just like one big family intertwined together. And so Robert, I am your 5th PET, aren't I? And basically, for those of you that don't know, PET means personally enrolled team. So Robert enrolled Mary, so she's the first, then Jeannie, then Godwin, then Star, then me. Yes. So I am Robert's 5th PET, and he works with me just as if he works with somebody that he enrolled himself personally. He is a mentor to a lot of our teammates around the globe, and he's just such an incredible leader. And Robert, thank you for being here.
Yes.
Thanks for sharing that video for me.
You bet. Anytime. Can you hear me okay? Awesome. Yeah, isn't it awesome, guys? Number one, speaking of events, this right here is an event, isn't it? All of us are showing up. It's an event, and one of the things I want to drive home, hopefully, to all of us on the line tonight, or if you're watching the recording as well, it's an event like this call, and think about this, guys. Let me ask all of you a question. What series of events had to happen for you to be at this event, which is the call? You had to have it was somebody connected with you, happened to be Bethanny's best friend. That was an event. Morningstar said, what'd she say, Beth? Probably wasn't a polished presentation, knowing stars. Probably like, are you going to cleanse with me?
It's actually kind of funny. She did. She goes, hey, do you and Chris want to do this 30-day cleanse with us? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I would have spent 30 days in the bathroom.
Yeah. So.
But she sent me to isogenics.com.
Yeah, isogenics.com, and we also use iSaMovie. So that was an event. And that was an event too. And then the next event was more than likely Star. What was the next event after that? Was probably a follow-up conversation. That was an event. You see where
Yeah,
I'm
probably
going
a
with this, guys?
follow-up.
And,
Yeah.
and that event eventually led Star to, or one of us reached, somehow we connected. Was it you, Star, or somebody connected Bethanny to either probably Joy or I or Mary or
We
somebody?
went up there.
Yes,
Star-
we did.
Actually, before that, Star had connected me with Robert, and we would go to CrossFit and then, or Johnny Mac Fitness before CrossFit, and we would go back to the doghouse, my business at the time, and we would have calls with Robert every Monday morning at 10 a.m. And I was like, why am I doing these calls? Like,
So
I'm not really into the business
but
yet.
that's, so the point I'm making, the outer circle, see, we all want people, the more people to the big event. Yes, everybody agree. So we all want people at these core events. I always taught events this way. Bear with me. So the bigger circle where most of the events happen is that first connection. The first time Star said, hey, let's do a 30-day cleanse. And then she showed Bethanny a video or two, and then Bethanny got on the program. Then they, within I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it was, we were doing our Monday calls. Maybe that was that was the second circle in. And eventually we went up there and did an event with Bethanny that was still on that second circle. And eventually, after all these calls and maybe sip and sample or follow-ups, which led to some face-to-face meetings, which eventually led to a Super Saturday, we called them, those events all led to the core 4 events. So what I'm getting at, and the way I dragged Mary Pike to her first event, it started, Mary didn't know, what was the outer circle with Mary? It was a little CD. So we didn't have Ice the Movie. We didn't have the foreverteamlifestyle.com, the bone broth, none of that stuff. And so that event with Mary was, Mary, listen to this. You know, John Gray, you know, and that event led to, and Mary, we've done many trainings. You probably have heard Mary talk about this. I was introducing that second circle in. Mary was like saying, who is Marilyn Torito? Who is Angie Pappengellan? Who is this Ellen from Hollywood actress lady? Who is this Andrea Hincart? Who is this Ron Reed, who's a smooth talker who she eventually fell in love with because Ron had a gift of empowering people. My point is it's all these events is what lead to the bigger events, which plants the vision. But the point is you really can't bypass the smaller events, which lead to the mid-size events, which lead to them buying into and actually carving out 2 or 3 or 4 days of their life. And so my first event, I think many of you have heard this. Timothy, I see Timothy on the line. Welcome, my friend. Timothy and his fiance, Danielle, this morning surprised me was, hey, Robert, I said, have you thought about NYKO again? Are you going? And Timothy said, Robert, I just got my plane ticket. And I was so stoked. So he's getting his celebration, his NYKO tickets. So welcome, Timothy.
So excited for you, Timothy, to be attending New Year kickoff. You're going to love it.
You're going to love it. And
Thank you. We appreciate it.
Oh, you're so welcome. You'll catch the vision, Timothy, and it'll become.
Danielle's here too.
Hello.
Hey guys, welcome. And guys, what brought Timothy and Danielle to buying the plane ticket and now the NYKO? It was these small events leading to the bigger events, even these calls leading to them, you know, engaging. My first event was 14 and a half, almost 15 years ago. I was only on board for about 2.5 months. Mary, I probably just met Mary. She really wasn't sharing and telling everybody she could yet. But I did paint the vision at least big enough to bring 7 people to my first celebration, and they were just launching it was called Splash, Celebration Splash. And John Anderson, who's, as you all know, our master formulator, he had just told his daughter a few months earlier that he was her father. And what caught me at Celebration, number one, I couldn't afford to stay on property. So if you're tight with your budget, welcome to the club. I had 7 people with me talking up the vision, and I couldn't afford to stay on property. I had to stay about 7 miles away and get, I think, a taxi. I don't think Uber was real popular yet. But anyway, but I made it happen. Joy couldn't afford to go because I just was rebuilding my massage income. Joy had a brand new position, but I knew I had to get to Celebration. And to see our corporate leaders, our master farm leader, one of our co-founders, get up on stage and bare his heart, and was just, I don't, to be quite transparent, nothing else in that whole event do I recall outside of seeing the smiling faces of my 7 guests. That I remember that, but I also remember one of our co-founders, who was just being so transparent. John in his ponytail, and he was so authentic and real, And then his daughter, Kirsty, was just sharing just these transparent but very personal journey in front of probably maybe 2,000 people. It wasn't that big back then, but and it just hit me that, wow, this is the company that doesn't have to put on, there's no smoke and mirrors. They can put, they give us all permission to put our guards down, and I can actually trust in these individuals. And I don't even remember Jimmy or anybody else speaking, because I'd seen other leaders on stage before in my 4 other companies, and so many of those individuals didn't walk their walk. I didn't know them yet. Now I love them all, because we all know the heart of our leaders. But I was a bit jaded, if you will, or kind of guarded, if you will. Not so much jaded, but guarded. But what really saw me, I just saw the heart of the company. And Bethanny said, and we all said, hopefully you're seeing everybody say it builds vision. My 7 people, 12 months later, 6 months later, I drug Mary and some other leaders to that. Mary, it was the same one Bethanny went to later, but it was the Top Achievers.
Top Achievers.
Yeah.
Before they changed Top Achievers, you were able to bring, if you were an executive, you could bring a guest, and now you have to earn it.
To earn it, yeah. And so I just maybe it was just Mary and Joy and I, but she caught the vision as well. Might have been Gay and Monty. And then 6 months, so 12 months after I brought 7 people, couldn't afford to stay on property, we had 77 people 12 months later, and we were earning right at about 9,500 to close to 10,000 a month. 1 year later, because those leaders caught the vision. There's no way that Mary and I and my initial leaders could have painted the vision like these events did. And remember the circles? How did we get 77 people to that 12 months later? It was the second circle. Ellen began to fly in every 2 months and do events for us, and Andrea, we began to do our calls like we're doing tonight and plugging in the people and building the vision, building community, building belief, building faith, and most of all, building trust in the process and trust in the community. And it was just a beautiful thing. So hopefully I've driven the point home, Beth and team, tonight, is that so many of our people, so many of of our team, what they fall in love with initially is the products, but what sticks and what kind of brings them home, if you will, is our culture. And there's no other way to show the culture of the company, which is heart-centered servant leadership authentically, not just spoken, but no other environment shows the culture of our company and the heart of the company above and beyond these larger events. So, but it takes the small ones leading to the mid-size events, which eventually gets them there. So I'll stop rambling here, but.
Awesome, Robert. You are such an awesome teacher and mentor and leader. I love that with the circles. Don't you guys love that? Show Robert some love in the chat. Yeah, that was awesome, Robert. Thank you so much for sharing. And thanks just for being you. And last but not least, my sister, Janine. Janine, for those of you that don't know, she was living in Australia and New Zealand over an 8-year period. However, she came into Isogenics just a couple months after me as a product user, and she kind of dabbled in the business a little bit here and there. But she was able to finally start attending events when she moved back to the States last year in September 2015. So Janine, do you want to share with us just your experience around events?
Sure. Just like Bethany said, when she got started, I said, yeah, sure, I'll support you. And I signed up as well. And I did. I dibbled and dabbled. I shared a little bit, but never really did the business, did not do the do at all. And when I was living in Australia, I really wanted to do the business. And when I got my ex on board with really going with the products and me doing the business, I did. I was doing as much as I could, but unfortunately, because of my circumstances, I had Andrew and I wasn't getting any support for him for caregiving and whatnot. So I wasn't able to have someone look after him for me to go to events. And we did have in Australia and New Zealand, we had our own celebrations there and our own New Year kickoffs there. And I was never able to go to those. And it bummed me out so bad because all of the other local Isogenics people that were building their business were doing that. And they would come back so pumped up and so like ready to go and tell me all about it. And I would always plug in online to the live streaming, but oh my goodness, it is just not the same. And even when I was in Australia, I earned a trip. It was called the Summit. And when I advanced to executive, and I think that's when I hit it, when I advanced to executive, and I wasn't even able to go to that, which I was so upset about. I literally cried. But when I got back to America, oh my gosh, my very first event was New Year's kickoff. And how amazing was that? Like, I couldn't sleep at night after coming home from every single, and you're exhausted because you're getting up really early and driving into town and getting good seats and just absorbing everything on a level that you don't even know could exist. And then I get home at night, I'd be like, oh my gosh, how am I going to go to sleep? Sleep spray. I need to get some more rest for tomorrow. But there is nothing like being at one of our core 4 events. And I think one of the things that I love the most is our team is all over the world, literally. And when we come together for these events, you get to see your team. You get to spend time with them. You get to go to dinner and have team hikes and really get to, put your arms around these people that, you call your ISA brothers and sisters. And that, for me, I absolutely love. I mean, some people like Robert and Joy, oh my goodness gracious, they mentored me from the get-go when I said I was going to do business. And I felt like I knew them, but I never even got to see them in person until last January. So for me, live streaming, if that's what you have to do, everyone has different circumstances and we take what life gives us sometimes, but oh my goodness gracious, if you have got any means necessary, get to the events because they do make all the difference in the world. When you have thousands of people around you and they're all like-minded people, they're all happy, healthy people, total strangers giving you high fives, there is nothing like that energy that you feel in that room. There is absolutely nothing that you can feel not being there. So yeah, I'm so grateful to be back in America and to be able to go to all of these events.
I am so grateful to have you here, sis. And I love that we are able to go to events together, and especially this one's in Phoenix. We can just drive together every day. It's just going to be so great. So I'm just so happy. And I know, I'm not sure if you guys know the term FOMO, FOMO, but fear of missing out. If you don't get to an Isogenics event, I promise you, you're going to have FOMO. You're going to sit there and you're going to watch all the posts on Facebook, and you're going to be wishing you were there. And I just recommend get your ticket. Get your ticket today, because especially with that bundle that's going on. I mean, guys, $99 a ticket. It's crazy. And you get to go to both events. It's a really, really good deal. And let's just say you already have your ticket for New Year kickoff. Buy the bundle anyway, because don't you want to gift a ticket away to somebody else? Or if you already have your ticket to Celebration or vice versa, buy the bundle, because it's such a good deal. You'd be silly not to. One more thing I wanted to share with everybody that I'm sure some of you on the line know is I have heard a statistic from Isogenics that for the number of people you bring, for each individual that you bring to an Isogenics event, you will earn an additional $1,000 in income minimal that year. So let's just say, Robert, he had 77 people. That's 77 grand for the year. For each individual you get to an event, you will earn a minimum of $1,000. Because remember, we all work together as a team. Everybody benefits from one another. And so it's great. It's all one team, right? So happy to be on this one team leadership call. I do want to mention to all of you that we are going to take the week off next week, December 23rd. We will be back December 30th. We will also be back in January. Just next week is the only week we're going to take off. So just kind of keep that in mind and mark your calendars. And I would love to just open the call up to questions that you have for any of the speakers tonight, any of the leaders that shared. If you want to ask a question about maybe their story or anything, please just unmute yourself and feel free to ask. You can also ask in the chat if that's more comfortable. And if there's anything from any of the leaders that you guys thought of while other people were speaking that you would like to share, please feel free, because we do have 7 minutes left.
I was just going to say, I know Isogenics does this every year before Celebration, is that they do a promo where you can win your hotel. And that was huge for me, being able to win that hotel last year and reach out to one of my gals and say, hey, Rachel, if you come to Celebration, I'll get your ticket. I'll get the hotel. Just get there. And it really is something to be able to say, hey, I can gift this to you. And it doesn't even cost you a whole lot of money if that's the situation you're in.
Rachel was one of your best friends, right? From high school.
Rachel was one of we knew each other from kindergarten.
Yeah.
So,
and it was so great to have her there, because Rachel's one of Janine's consultants on our team, and she's been building the business in the pockets of her life. But for her to get to Celebration is such a big deal. And thanks to you for bringing that up, because I did something really similar where my bestie, Liz, who lives here in Phoenix with me, she wanted to come to Nashville, number one, just come to Nashville. And it was also my birthday during Celebration, so she wanted to be with me on my birthday. And I was like, hey, if you just grab me your ticket, your airline ticket, I'm like, your hotel room's taken care of, we can sleep together. So Liz and I shared my king-size bed that I won, and I didn't even know she was there the whole time. She's so much better than sleeping with my husband. Anyway, Liz came. She loved it. She was like, wow, maybe I was supposed to be here because I was supposed to do the business, because Liz doesn't really do the business. But she is one of my consultants. She does share Isogenics in the pockets of her life. She does get her products paid for. But it really did paint a bigger vision for her, which she was like, I can't believe this company and everything that they offer and everything that they do. So it was great to have her there. Robert, I know that you were trying to share something, but I think you were muted. So please share.
No, it's all good. Just an awesome call. Great one to share the recording. But two quick thoughts too, as we close out. Number one, I want to drive home a point that is one thing that we've all learned, that leaders have been around a number of years. It's that when we even consider gifting one of these larger events, we always suggest that they earn the gift. And obviously, if you know anybody that knows you, Bethanny, knows how your work ethic. So you were already showing by your activities, and it wasn't even a blink for Mary to say it, and us to say, yeah, you're in. And the same thing happened. Minute you said hello to one of my newbies. Her name's Sarah. She's a yoga instructor here. She's a beautiful lady, just made consultant. She called me about 5 days ago and said, Robert, I know we've talked about this. I just don't see how it's going to work. NYKO, this and this and this. And I paused, I received that, and I went deeper into that story with her. And then I said, Sarah, you have a tremendous amount of faith. Yes? Yes. You have a tremendous amount of belief. And you already know and trust that this is changing lives. And you know you want to run with this in the new year. Yes. Why don't we jump and then build the parachute on the way down? Do you trust me? She said, yes. I said, Sarah, we're going to get you a ticket squared away. All I need you to do is to get yourself there to the event. And because I poured belief into her, I listened, and I also had empathy with her story. I didn't have to wallow around in the story, but I listened to the story, and then I refused to accept that, knowing, because I uplifted her, she's now in and she's attending NYKO with us. And that's probably, those are two thoughts.
Thank you, Robert. I actually had that in my notes to share. I'm not telling you to go out and just gift anybody a ticket. If you have somebody that's doing the do, that's somebody that's showing up, somebody that's building the business, that's the person that you want to give the ticket to. Mary, what was that? I just saw a little emotion.
Well, no, there was a loud, funky noise, and I startle easily. Sorry. You don't want to go to a movie.
Did you hear it too?
You don't want to go to a movie with me.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Huh. Yeah, it was just I heard something. Sorry.
Okay, I just saw you go out, and I thought you had a big share. You were so excited to share with us.
No, I just jump easily.
Robert, thank you so much for sharing those final thoughts, because I think those are super powerful and super great. So, bottom line, guys, get to the events. New Year kickoff celebration are absolutely must be at. There's ICU and UIA, which I love both of those as much, if not more, than Celebration New Year Kickoff. But like I said, they're kind of revamping those, so you won't find those on the website right now. I'm very excited that they are revamping them, just to have them more around the world, more accessible to more people, because ICQ is so powerful. It definitely is like college for Isogenics. And then UIA is so powerful. It's such a personal development course with David Wood, gets you out of your comfort zone, teaches you how to talk to people, teaches you the basics. Basically, it helps you, UIA helps you in every aspect of life. And I have been to probably 5 of each of those. And I would continue going year after year as well, because they're just great business building activities to attend. So thank you so much, everybody. I'm going to sign off, and have a happy rest of your Monday and a great week. Remember, we are off next week, and we will see you all back here on the One Team Leadership Call on Monday, December 30th. Have a very Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.